Hi friends, this is Pastor Annika and this is my midweek reflection. This week I'm thinking about my years as an international student. And I have to confess that I'm so extremely relieved to hear that the courts rescinded the ruling yesterday that would have barred international students to stay in the US if their education went fully online. This is an important issue for me, not only because I'm still recovering from the trauma of having had to wait a year and a half to receive my current religious worker visa to be able to come and be the pastor of Westminster Church here in Worcester. But also because, as many of you know, I have been an international student for many years in 2 different degree programs and worked as an international student coordinator at Union Presbyterian Seminary in Richmond, Virginia, during my PhD studies. So I know from my own experience of having been an international student and from my international student friends with whom I worked that becoming an international student in this country is not an easy thing. It takes way more than just getting on an airplane and coming to study here. It takes a lot of hard work and preparation, and one has to fill out an application form, and each student, potential student, goes through a pretty serious process of vetting to get the visa approved. And once one receives the visa approval, then one's data, all the information about the potential student is entered into a database here in the US that's called Student and Visitor Exchange Visitor Information System, otherwise known as SEVIS. The SEVIS database includes one's fingerprints from all 10 fingers, one's photograph, records of any previous education that one may have pursued, and also information about the current program one is about to enter, including financial support that students would be receiving, as well as the exact address of the educational institution and where the student will be living. It is a complex process as you hear it. So I was really surprised to read that Immigration and Customs Enforcement Service, ICE, argued in their case for this ruling that online instruction would provide problems because it would allow international students to live anywhere in the US while they are pursuing their studies. And this could potentially provide a national security risk. But moreover, because they would pursue their education online, they would have extra time that they could pursue other things besides their study. Yes, indeed. Wouldn't we all do that if we had extra time on our hand? I was wondering, why is the assumption that international students would use that extra time towards bad purposes? As I was reflecting on this situation and the turmoil that international students face and the risk that they would be barred from this country, I remembered this passage from Paul's letter to the Corinthian congregation, from his letter 1 Corinthians chapter 12. That describes powerfully how, as human beings, we are all connected to one another because we are all God's creatures. We depend on each other. Listen to Paul's words from 1 Corinthians chapter 12. For just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. In the one Spirit, we were all baptized into one body, Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all made to drink of one Spirit. Indeed, the body does not consist of one member, but many. If the foot would say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less part of the body. And if the ear would say, because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole body were hearing, where would the sense of smell be? But as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them, as God chose. If all were a single member, where would the body be? If one member suffers, all suffer together with it. If one member is honored, all rejoice together with it. It is a powerful image and a powerful reminder of what the human community is about. And as I think of the friendships that I formed over the years with fellow international students and fellow American students, I recognize how much I learned about different cultures, both about the US culture and cultures across the globe. For example, that there is more to the US than New York or Los Angeles. But also, I have begun to see how international students contribute to the communities here. They not only learn important skills and important knowledge that they take back home, but they contribute to the communities here in the US where they live, with their expertise in the field, with their music and their cooking and their culture. We learn that we depend on each other, as Paul so eloquently describes it with the metaphor of the body. We also learn that there is a wilder world out there. We learn that there are multiple ways of looking at things, of doing things that are good. So friends, as you think of what happened this past week, and as you think of international students in our community, I would like you to I invite all of us to think about how can we support the international students studying here at the College of Worcester and in our wider communities at the University of Ashland and many other educational institutions just in our area. How can we learn from each other? How can we use our gifts to make this world a better place? Hope to see you soon and know that I miss you and love you, and blessings to you.